Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sort of taking you with today. I wanted to look in on Putin, what is going on in his mind, what's happening with him, see what information we can get. Um, he hasn't been stopped yet, and I know I haven't seen him stopped quickly, but, we hope. He did get rid of 150 people in his among his spies, among his Secret Service and his spy chief. So, wow, he definitely felt the threat of, I think it was his former spy chief. He definitely felt the threat of possibly them moving in on him. So let us see what's going on with Putin right now. We have the 10 of Cups. He's definitely keeping around him the people he trusts, that's for sure. The people he feels safe with. Who cares if they're any good at anything? Who cares if they'll give him the truth? Who cares if they're the right person for the job? He has definitely pared down his circle to just those he feels very safe with, and family, frankly. Very much so. He's pared it on down, which is not good, actually. But then again, like I said, I saw that messenger bringing him an urgent, and with urgency, the encouragement to go ahead and make the error. He's supposed to make a fatal flaw. He's supposed to make a fatal error. A fatal error. Those were the words. So maybe this is part of that fatal error. That's how this is supposed to end. So we have the 2 of Wands for the outside picture. You know, how he looks from the outside. World explorer trying to dominate a country, yes. Looking across the world, though, and wondering what he can dominate. Right now, he's working on Ukraine. People worry. What's next? People do worry about that. That's his external picture. Internally, we have the 9 of Cups. Like he just wants what he wants. He wants his wish. He really is an egomaniac. So he wants what he wants. I'm powerful. I should have what I want. I believe Ukraine is part of Russia. And misguided belief there. Sure, under the Soviet Union, Ukraine was, part of the Soviet Union. But that doesn't mean there's a long history. There's a long history that is Ukrainian. So it's like, I want what I want. I want what I want. It's frightening to see that kind of mentality in a grown man with this kind of power. And then we have the moon for the goal. The goal is the moon, huh? So he's got secrets. He wants to keep them hidden. That's why I wanted to read on him. I knew it because it makes me nervous. I can feel it. I saw that in the last reading I did about him, that the 7 of Swords came up, like he had a secret plan. And then the next day, I believe, the chemical gas was dropped, some sort of poisonous gas was dropped on military, Ukrainian military in a certain area. Small. But you know what? I'm bringing this up, which is still quite consequential, still a war crime. Concerning, definitely. Very sad. But this moon card makes me wonder if he's planning something like that again. Because I remember when I did that reading, I couldn't promise that there wouldn't be another one. It felt like there may be another occurrence. Let me get a clarifier. Oh my God, look at you guys. The 7 of Swords. Okay, so to me that's a confirmation. He may be planning another chemical attack. Let's see what else there is. The motivation. He just wants an opportunity. He can't get an opportunity, he feels like, to get the upper hand in this. He had a retreat from Kyiv. His flagship warship was taken out by Ukrainian missiles from the shore. So that limits his ability to move in on Odessa with naval forces. So he can't get the upper hand. It's his soldiers out there who are, the morale is poor, the equipment is poor, they're poorly supplied, they're poorly led. He's got them out there in the eastern regions and the southern regions and around Mariupol, but that's not strong enough. That's not strong enough. So he's just trying to get an opportunity. I do believe this is by terrorizing people. I do, because he's waging a war of terror, isn't he? People are going after civilians. They are razing villages. They are going after people fleeing through a human corridor. They are, so much of what is happening is really a psychological warfare aimed at absolutely terrorizing the people and getting them to give up. So I believe that this next thing he's got up his sleeve would be that too. It would be something to try to terrify the people. So there may be some sort of chemical attack. I don't necessarily think huge. Well, bigger than the last though. So there may be something coming that is designed to scare the heck out of people. But that doesn't mean it's accomplished. Felt led to say that. Doesn't mean it's accomplished. It's back in the planning. Let's see what we get. We have the Two of Cups for what's at stake. Oh yes. If he pushes the envelope any further with these war crimes, he will then have, countries who are either neutral toward him or openly supportive. But I feel like more like countries who are kind of trying to take a neutral kind of stance and continue trading with him. I feel like if he pushes that further, that won't happen anymore. That agreement won't be there anymore. And he knows this. So this is his debate. He hasn't absolutely made the decision to execute this plan. He has time, he feels like. We have the Three of Cups for his flaw or his need. He wants to celebrate. He wants to have a win. The source of that is the Four of Wands, his leadership, his ability to stay where he is in the Kremlin. That's at stake. He knows that's at stake. So this is a very personal process for Putin, which is really quite sick, isn't it? So many are dying in Ukraine and these Russian soldiers. It's very sick. But this is a very me kind of process for him, is what I'm seeing here. Wow. Okay, the effect that this desire to have a win has upon his secret plan is, what's this with justice? It's either that he carries it out and that's the nail in his coffin for justice to come to him, or he doesn't. Wait a minute. Or he's kept from doing that. He wouldn't decide not to do it because of any kind of moral trouble he has with it. The Nine of Swords. If he decided not to take the next step in his nefarious plans, those secret plans that we don't know about, it would be because of worry. It would be because of worry. So his hand maybe stayed. He hasn't made up his mind yet. All right. Well, let's see about the past for him as the Tower. This has been a Tower. Right. He is no longer secure in his position. The future, he gets the Strength card in the immediate future. So in other words, he's not out yet guys. I don't see him. In fact, I feel like when he did fire so many people, he didn't need to fire all of them, but when he did fire so many people, that did buy him some more time, I feel like. But then again, I've also been really feeling like if out of desperation he makes a fatal error, he's out of there. He's done. That's it. Fatal error. Those are the two words too. Almost, I don't know if that would mean I've seen him increasing his chances of really actually being assassinated, but I still don't see that yet. I don't see that. So we're holding in this pattern for a little while yet, guys. But there is something that could happen suddenly that I feel like it would, if it did, it would, because this Justice card is here, it would push the envelope just that step further to where a lot more consequences come on him. So let me look at, I'd also like to look at Russia. Now there's quite a propaganda effort here, and Russians, they really can't speak freely. And then there's poll numbers suggesting more of them support Putin than before, but you don't know if that's true. So what is going on with the Russian people? Let me look. What's going on with the Russian people? I am shuffling away here till I feel like it's time to stop. That's how I do this. Okay. With the Russian people, Temperance. Okay, so they're all kind of taking they know the drill. We better just not create too many waves. Not complain too loudly about the sanctions, the shortages. They're just trying to figure out, what do we do in this? They haven't had this. They thought Putin, they knew he did shady stuff, and a lot of them said, well, I'm not sure, hard to prove, and all this stuff. The poisoning of spies abroad, former spies abroad, and yeah, disappearing some people who dared to stand against him. Sure, but I think a lot of the Russian citizenry could say, well, I'm not entirely sure that's true, So they haven't, so many of them really don't understand how dangerous or not dangerous it is right now in Russia. They don't know yet. So that's why they're being temperate. They're being wise. They don't know how long this lasts either. So many of them are still feeling like this is temporary, maybe. Oh, they're wrong, though. They're wrong. Because I've seen the troubles for Russia, the sanctions, the economic troubles continuing for quite some time. They will get worse, not better. But right now, there's sort of a wait-and-see approach. Then we have the Four of Cups is the challenge. All the news that keeps coming at them, they don't like. They didn't like any of those messages. They don't like this one coming either. There are Russian soldiers dying. That can't be hidden. They don't like what they're hearing. But a lot of them pretending not to hear it, right? We have Empress. Underneath in the subconscious, definitely. There are more and more Russians asking themselves, do we need to rebel? Do we need to think about leaving Russia or overthrow, or working to try to overthrow this guy? Do we need to do that? There are more and more Russians wondering that, and they're pregnant with this possibility. There are more Russians. So despite what the polls say, this is suggesting to me that their discontent with Putin and his decisions is just growing and growing like a pregnancy, and a birth may happen. What will this birth? Not such an agreeable populace. In the past is the Nine of Swords. This has been very worrisome. This has been hard on a lot of Russians. Really worrisome. Yeah. Sometimes you see footage, videos, Russians interviewed, and sometimes the older Russians are very supportive of Putin, and they're just watching Russian TV. But most people in those interviews are not, and afraid to say anything about it. But I feel like there's a lot of internal anguish about this and worry about this. And then we have the Page of Cups above it all, a little bit of good news. Also, though, if Russian TV will feed them a hopeful tidbit, like maybe this is over soon, they'll bite on that. They hope so. You know, it would help their worry. They hope so. So a lot of them are choosing denial, in fact, then. Just because, wow, what else do you do? They feel so disempowered to do anything about this. Immediate future, well, there we have the Emperor. So that is about, wow, Putin's going to actually pass more laws. That's coming soon, this looks like. That is, people have to obey. More restrictions on free speech, perhaps? Or just heavier penalties. Something about punishing people who are trying to leave the country. There's something afoot against his own people, I see. The root of the matter is the High Priestess. Everything's such a mystery. What's going on with the people? They can't speak freely. But that means there's a lot of deep mysteries. That means that there are circles of communication among the Russian people that are growing into satisfaction that the Kremlin can't access. It's a little difficult to access everybody's online communication, especially if they use a VPN, which says they're communicating from France, say, even though they're communicating from Russia. That's a little tough. So he can't, obviously there's a lot of communication going on behind the scenes in secret about what's going on. Oh my gosh, it's become like a new national pastime. That's what I'm seeing. It's huge. They want to know what's going on. I mean, their own safety and security and the safety and security of their young men depends on it. Wow. So there are things brewing there that they're not telling us, you know, that they're not telling an interviewer with a microphone and a camera, of course. And then we have the, and we need to remember, even the older, you know, I think Gen X and older, right, knew what it was to grow up in the Soviet Union. And they knew what it was to very skillfully get around the laws that meant to control them. The whole black market economy that was so huge in Russia and the USSR was them getting around it, you know? Okay, so we have Knight of Wands, which is in their home environment. They're pulling it back. They're not wanting to rush into war. They're not telling their people to. They're trying to find ways to exempt their young men. And then we have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords. So that means also they're pulling back support for Putin for this special military operation, as he says. We have the Eight of Swords and the hopes and fears. They don't feel like they can do anything, though. Death is the outcome. Okay. Ace of Coins, though. Okay. There are going to be more people leaving the country. Absolutely. Death, I feel like in this case is, well, yes, more Russian soldiers will be dying and are dying. But also, it's the death of Putin is there for us. It's the absolute death of that. And it's because, partly because their pocketbooks are getting, I mean, they're really going to be devastated financially if this keeps going on. So it is the end of Putin's reign is what I see. The end of Putin's reign among his people. He'll be done. They'll be done. And there will be enough secret communication that they can all look at each other on the street and know most everybody's done with him. That's the outcome. So they're not quite there yet. They're still in the, well, we'll wait and see approach. But look he's going to do some laws that turn on them. That he loses them. Okay, well, that's what I see. Very interesting reading about what's going on with them. And our Yes, we send protection, we send strength and courage. Absolutely. All right. Well, I thank you all so very much. Thanks for coming with me on that little journey through these pressing issues. You take care. Enjoy what you have right in front of you. Enjoy the freedom that you enjoy. Sometimes we feel guilty doing that. But we can enjoy our freedom and will it for the people of Russia and the people of Ukraine as well. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.